Can you smell what the Doge is cooking? What's good, my Doge army, my Doge hodlers? Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderfully blessed Sunday. Most importantly, a safe one at that. This is your boy Jaime G, and you guys know what time it is. For those of you that don't know what time it is, it's that Wild Wild West Cryptoland time, baby, where we talk about Doge and overall crypto market news. None of this is ever financial advice, just me sharing my thoughts, opinions, nothing more, nothing less. Now, if your ass takes it as financial advice, then your ass is in a whole lot of trouble, because I'm definitely not a financial advisor. Now that we got all that mumbo jumbo out of the way, I know I'm ready. Are you ready? Well, without further ado, let's get it, baby. All right, guys, Bitcoin is down 4.3%. We're sitting at 38,168 with 79 cents. Oh my gosh, crypto winter's here. It's time for us to get our panties all in a bunch. Uh-oh, it's over. Throw in the towel. Sell, sell, sell. Get out of here, guys. Always remember, when in doubt, zoom out. You got to remember, man, we're in this for the long haul. We're in the beginning stages. All right, enough of Bitcoin, guys. I got a lot of good Bitcoin and overall crypto market news here in a second. Now, let's dive into Dogecoin. We're still number 11, guys. All right, we're still coming for that number 10 spot. We're currently down 2.6%. We're sitting at 0.136, guys, right? The mid 16 cents, or 13 cents rather. Our 24-hour low, guys, was 0.135, and our 24-hour high was 14 cents. Market cap is at 18.1 billion, and volume is at 469.5 million, right? So our volume in the last 24 hours is obviously down from what it was yesterday. We were in the mid 500 millions. So obviously we're down in, being that it's the end of the weekend, but nonetheless, it's still the weekend, and there is always a lot of volatility when it comes to the weekend, so it's to be expected. And not just that, guys, obviously the overall sentiment of the market is extreme fear. There's a lot of blood on the streets. As you can see, the markets are in the red. All right, guys, now let's briefly talk about resistance and support real quick. I'm not going to spend too much on the charts because not much has changed, guys. You know what I mean? Support is still coming in at let me get my scribbler ribbler. Support is still, let me open this up bigger. So support, guys, is still coming in at this lower Bollinger Band, right? Which is down here, right? And that's coming in at 0.131, 13 cents. And up here, right, is the mid Bollinger Band, which runs parallel with that 21-day exponential moving average, which is our support coming in at 0.146, okay? So that's support. But I just wanted to point out, guys, now this lower Bollinger Band, this 13 cent, is very, very strong level of support. And I wanted to brief back, guys, we briefly dipped right over here where I have the circle, right into the 12 cents area, right? It was, to be exact, we came in and we whipped down to 0.126, and I think it's 0.120. Yeah, so basically the lower 12 cents and mid 12 cents, right? And we were just basically, as you can see, right, it was in a span of 3 days, right, that we roughly for temporarily went down to the lower to mid 12 cents. What I'm trying to point out and show you guys is, don't trip, man. I truly don't believe we will dip any lower than this lower Bollinger Band at 13 cents. I really believe that it will hold us even if we came down to test it. We might wick below it if things get a little hairy, right? If Bitcoin continues to dip, then the overall markets are going to dip with it as well, guys, including Dogecoin, right? It's just inevitable. It's going to happen. But you got to remember, man, this is all noise, right? When in doubt, zoom out. You got to remember, man, we're in this for the long term. Well, at least I know I am, and I'm hoping my community, my viewers, my subscribers are smart enough to be in this for the long term, right? Yes, we want to make short-term gains, but the real money is going to be made in, 5-10 years from now. You're going to be like, yeah, baby. You know what I mean? Your account's going to look a lot better, man. But all right, guys, that's all I pretty much had as far as levels of support and resistance when it came to the technicals. Everything's still the same, okay? This mid Bollinger Band, 21-day moving average, coming in at 0.146 is resistance, and 0.131 is support. All right, guys. Now, that's all I had as far as Dogecoin, right? There wasn't a whole lot of news out there, but I got quite a bit of good Bitcoin news, right? And which is, in return, good for Dogecoin and the overall crypto markets, right, guys? Now, it says, Bitcoin, important. It says, California ready to make Bitcoin legal money. Yes, you heard that, guys. California. Now, so California may make Bitcoin legal money according to a new measure submitted by political advisors. Right now, after Arizona and the Pacific island of Tonga recently made headlines with their moves to declare Bitcoin legal money. Exactly, guys, right? It says the California bill has the potential to upset the legal tender race once more. Regards, California has presented legislation to make Bitcoin legal tender. In other words, guys, they've put in the proper paperwork to try to make Bitcoin as legal tender in the state of California. Not too long ago, as this article said, we had Arizona do the same thing as well, right? And you had the Pacific island of Tonga, but you have Arizona, California, right, guys? Now, if we continue to start this domino effect, this is what we need, right? We need this for adoption, for uh, crypto to go mainstream, right? For Bitcoin to hit that $500,000, up to $1 million, as they've been calling, and I do see it happening. Just like Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful himself, said, in 2 to 3 years from now, he sees Bitcoin hitting anywhere around 2 to 300,000, because obviously Bitcoin in the crypto space will be regulated. Bitcoin will become more greener, and then institutions will start allocating at least 1 to 3% of their money into Bitcoin or slash cryptos, and in return, Bitcoin hitting. And he says he sees it happening for sure in 2 to 3 years. That's why he said he's long on Bitcoin, right? So I said, man, when in doubt, zoom out. And this here, guys, it just goes to show you, man, where we're headed, right? As far as adoption and mainstream, it's coming, man, a lot sooner than you guys realize, man. I'm telling you. Now let me dive into this article real quick. See if I can find it. Now it says Fidelity's macro analyst says plots path forwards for Bitcoin. Says Bitcoin's choppy movements are mostly noise. Now, says the global macro director of Fidelity Investments, Jurian Timmer, is optimistic about BTC's price growth over the long term. Keyword, guys, long term. Says the executive of the financial services titan tells his 99,000 Twitter followers that Bitcoin's volatility as it trades in a wide range between 30K and 65K is mostly noise. Exactly. Bitcoin has been in a choppy trading range for almost a year now, bouncing between 30K and 65K. The up or down debate continues to be a favorite hobby for many, but is mostly noise. Exactly, guys. It says instead of looking at Bitcoin's price action, Timmer says investors should look at the growth of Bitcoin's network, right? Timmer highlights Bitcoin's demand curve, which tracks the number of addresses holding a non-zero amount of Bitcoin. What matters most is where the demand curve is going, and the answer continues to be up and to the right. Below, we see the number of Bitcoin addresses with the value of more than zero, right? And it shows the chart here, right, guys? So basically what they're saying, right, the demand on how many people continue to accumulate Bitcoin, right, guys? That's what he's getting at, right? And he's looking at the long term, the longevity, right? It's a marathon, it's a marathon, right, guys? You're doing this long term, 5 to 10 years from now, man. Your freaking bags are gonna be big. You know what I mean? Whatever you're investing in, whether it's Dogecoin, Bitcoin, right? And this should let you know here, right? This is all noise. Yes, you know what I mean? I talk about the daily time frame, so on and so forth, right? But when all push comes to shove, guys, I am bullish long term for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, Dogecoin, Cosmos, Shiba, right, guys? You know what I mean? Yes, I give a little technical analysis as far as price. I don't give price, I don't like to do that. I just like to do the levels of resistance and support. That's about all I do as far as technicals go. You know what I mean? And maybe a little bit of you know what I mean, if we have a cup and handle, so on and so forth, printing on the charts. But I don't like to give price predictions, right? So I say all that to say this, guys. All of this is noise, even including for Dogecoin. When I'm talking about the daily time frames, you know what I mean, so on and so forth, guys. All of this stuff is just noise, because got to have strong conviction and know why you're investing in these cryptos, and we're doing it for the long term, guys. You know what I mean? And that's got to be a minimum of 3 to 5 years, man. In my book, right? That's long term, 3 to 5 years. So just wanted to briefly point this article out. Now we're going to close out with this article coming up next, right? It's kind of a longer article, but it's a lot. It gives a breakdown, right? And it's very good, man. I hope you stay with me to the end, man. A lot of good points on this here, guys. Now it says why crypto is following the 1990 internet adoption curve. Now this is huge, guys. Please pay attention, man. Now it says the adoption curve of crypto is believed to be in the early stages, as Wells Fargo's data shows its close similarities with the early stages of internet adoption in the 90s, giving a glimpse of how crypto could become a part of everyone's life as it reaches the mainstream. And it will reach mainstream, guys, whether people believe it or not. Now it says, if crypto is the next revolution and many industries are already jumping in, which they are, finance, music, fashion, gaming, social media, etc., what will our world and portfolios look like once mass adoption happens? Exactly. How do you want your portfolio to look, guys? I want mine to be in the millions, right? Once adoption hits. Because once adoption hits, guys, it's going to skyrocket. And it's going to be like a wildfire, man. Mark my words. Now it says 90s internet versus crypto technology. A Wells Fargo Investment Institute report has compared how users started to embrace the internet in the 90s, early 90s, guys. Remember, in the early 90s, with the current cryptocurrency adoption rate, the investment advisor suggests that both the internet and crypto adoption started at a slow pace, but as the former hit an inflection point and then steeply accelerated. The following years could show a similar spike for the crypto industry. Exactly, just like how Kevin O'Leary says, guys, in 2 to 3 years from now, crypto will be regulated. Bitcoin will be, Bitcoin mining will be greener. Therefore, institutions will be allocating 1 to 3% minimum of their assets into crypto, therefore pushing the whole crypto market to the roof, right? And Kevin O'Leary said, man, he's that's why he's long Bitcoin, and I know he knows what he's talking about, man, and that's why I'm trying to buy as many satoshis as I can, and you should too. Remember, it's not financial advice. Now it says only 1% of the world population and 14% of Americans were using the internet by 1995. Remember, guys, and it started in the early 90s. Even though it was invented in 1983, guys, only 1% of the world was using it in 1995, right? And it started in 1983, just like crypto. Bitcoin was invented in what, 2011. And look where we're at right now. We're barely scratching the surface, guys, is what I'm trying to pound the table, what I'm trying to get inside your guys' noggin, right? And how important and crucial it is to start making a crypto portfolio. Now, says the experts think these numbers look familiar to the current rates of cryptocurrency adoption. Citing Crypto.com, collected data reveals that by 2021, almost 3% of the world population had become crypto users, 221 million in June 2021. Most impressive part of it is how fast the industry got to that percentage, given that only 4 months before that time, the number of users was half in size, around 100 million. A common factor among how users approach new technologies in their early stages is the period of time many need to figure out what the technology is, what it can do, and how it can benefit them. In this matter, data shows that in the 2021, crypto newcomers believe the space is still in its early adoption stage, and that's why there is a lot of volatility as well, guys, as they find the technology daunting and use case unclear. Exactly, right? A lot of people were unclear, uncertain, guys, on where it's going to go. DeFi, gaming, the metaverse, you know what I mean? So on and so forth, right? All of this stuff, or these are new terms, new terminology for people, right? But institutions know, guys, the only reason why they're not in it is because it's not regulated yet. But once it becomes regulated, it's on. It's going to take off like wildfire, just like Kevin O'Leary said, right? And it's the retail people, right? The dumb money, as they call it. They're the ones that are unsure, so on and so forth, right? Institutions are they're ready to jump on board. They just can't because of regulation, guys. Now, it says data represented in the following charts hints that the cryptocurrency adoption rates could be taking a similar road to other earlier advanced technologies, particularly the internet, meaning that crypto could soon enter an inflection point of hyper adoption like these other technologies, in which case the rising path has not looked back. In other words, guys, once it takes off, like I said, it's off to the races. 2 to 3 years from now, it's going to take off, man. We're very early, guys. Very early. I'm telling you. The success for the internet at that point was the mid to late 90s. After a slow start in the early 90s, remember, guys, it started in 1983, but it didn't start taking off until the late 90s. Internet usage surged from 77 million in 1996 to 412 million in 2000, right? 4 years. We went from 77 to 412 million, guys, in 4 years. By 2010, worldwide internet use had grown to 1.9 billion. So in, what is that, guys? So from 96, 06, 16, what is that? 24 years. It went from 77 million to 1.98 billion. So basically 2 billion, guys. And today it sits at 4.9 billion, guys. Now just think of crypto, right? Now it says the following chart closely compares the growth of internet adoption from 1993 to nowadays and the rise in crypto users since 2014. Experts believe that cryptocurrency used today may even be a little ahead of mid to late 90s internet, showing no doubt of the rising adoption that could soon hit a hyperinflation point. It often takes many years for consumers to widely adopt new advanced technologies. Exactly, guys. Right? So yes, we're taking off slowly, guys, but once it takes, we're moving at a little bit faster speed than the internet was, but nonetheless, guys, it's taking, for people to accept it, right? To just even talk about it, so on and so forth, right? It's moving at a slow pace, but Kevin O'Leary, I keep bringing that up, man, because when I heard and read and listened to the interview, guys, he's dead on, man. 2 to 3 years from now, you're gonna see it's gonna take off, and it's never gonna look back, guys. And then in 5 years, adoption will be here completely. Telling you, man. Now, moving into early majority. Now it says, as the adoption of this technology moves into the early majority and mass adoption, more investors are likely to lose the fear of the crypto industry, and with increasing demand, value is believed to spike. Moreover, an important factor that may slow down the path toward adoption is the lack of clear regulatory framework for the industry. Exactly. Just like Kevin O'Leary says, guys, 2 to 3 years from now, that is going to, that slow down, that hindrance, that stumbling block for the growth of crypto, for Bitcoin, Dogecoin, is going to be out of the way, and it's going to take off, man. It says, which derives investors and consumers away. But as governments cannot look away for much longer, clarity is expected to come soon enough and also drive increase in adoption. You know what I mean, guys? That's what I'm telling you, man. And then it says, yeah, so this is pretty much what I had, man. This article is pretty exciting. I meant to share it with you guys. I finally found it. It was from like 2 weeks ago, but nonetheless, guys, this is a very, very good article, man, and hit a lot of key points, man. We're early. Bottom line is we're early to the crypto party, as I continue to say. But in 2 to 3 years from now, man, if you're not, you're gonna start. It's gonna start getting to get late. 2 years from now, you're gonna be like, shit, I should have invested 2 years ago. You know what I mean? It's better to start now, man. You can start off with $5 a week, $5 a month, if that's all you can do. But anyways, this is what your boy Jaime G had for you on the Sunday, guys. Thank you if you stayed with me till the end and got the most important, crucial nuggets of this video. Stay safe, stay blessed, and stay bullish, my guys and gals out there. Doge to the moon, baby. Remember, guys, diamond hands. All right, man. Much love. Peace out. Till tomorrow, guys.